Okay, welcome everybody to this evening's AUDJPY Securities webinar. My name is Duncan Cooper. Tonight's webinar is Forex Trading Live Market Analysis, which we'll get into in a moment. Just to give you a heads up, this week from me, our webinar tomorrow covering the figure and how to trade and use that in the Forex market. That will be at 8 p.m. Sydney time tomorrow evening, and then more analysis coming in on Thursday at the same time, 8 p.m. Sydney time. If you want to join me for those webinars, just register your interest at our webinar page, and I look forward to seeing you then. And I didn't create this slide. I just noticed a little bit of a spell error there. It should be the 31st of October, not the 31st. But in any event, that'll be on Thursday. Now, for those in the webinar, if you could all read through the disclaimer, that would be great. For those on our YouTube live stream, I can't see the chat, but you're more than welcome to join us. I've given you the link there to join us in the webinar. For those in the webinar, you can use the chat box or the Q&A box to talk to me. Just use whichever one's appropriate for you. So just take a moment or two to read through the disclaimer and then we'll move along. Thank you. All right, let's move along now. For those that don't know me, my name is Duncan Cooper. I'm the Senior Market Strategist and Trading Mentor here at AUDJPY Securities, and I am a full-time Forex trader. I've been trading the Forex market now for almost 20 years, mentoring for more than 10. If you want to contact me, my email is on screen there. So anything to do with webinars, you can send me an email, duncan.cooper@acy.com. You can connect with me through the week at our website. Go to acy.com, go to the Market News tab. Our YouTube channel at AUDJPY Securities Australia. And if you want to connect with me personally, head over to my Linktree page. You'll get my links there. And if you want to get access to the charts I'm using NT4, just contact Nathan.bray. His email's on screen, and I'll put it there in the chat for those in the webinar. All right, so let's get into the news items for the week. Just want to make sure my screen is changing. Yes, it is. All right, so this week, I'm just going to go through the red items. Time shown on my time, Queensland time. So getting into Wednesday on the midnight, for me, from the US, we have the CB consumer confidence and job openings data. So it could be volatile at that point this evening. Tomorrow in the morning, 4 a.m., Swiss SNB Chairman Schlegel speaks. 5:30 in the morning for Canada, the Bank of Canada Governor Macklem speaks. And then in the morning for the Aussie traders, we have the CPI QQ and CPI year on year for Australia, expecting a move down 2.3. Market's going to be looking at these figures closely because, of course, those in Australia want an interest rate cut, which isn't coming at the moment. Then all day, this was probably early into the London session. It doesn't give you a time, but the German prelim CPI month on month. Swiss, 7 p.m., S&B Chairman Schlegel speaks again. And then at 10:15 p.m. for the US, we have ADP non-farm employment change. 10:30 advanced GBPQQ. That employment change figure there will give us an indication of what's happening on Friday with the job figures. Then into Thursday, 6:15 in the morning, again from Canada, Bank of Canada Governor Macklem speaks. 11:30 in the morning for China, we have manufacturing PMI data. That could affect the Aussie crosses, New Zealand crosses. Then in tentative, this is usually 1:30 my time, Queensland time. We get the BOJ policy rate, monetary policy statement, outlook, press conference. So we've already had at the start of the week with the election that went on in Japan. Yen weakened quite considerably on the open on Monday. So I'm sure the market's going to be looking at this, and we could definitely see more volatility for yen crosses. So be very aware of that Thursday afternoon. 10:30 p.m. for Canada, we have GDP month on month, and then US core PCE price index, employment cost index, unemployment claims. So that could be volatile just there for the US. Then into Friday, 5:30 p.m. for Swiss, CPI month on month. And then the big one for the week is the US unemployment figures. So average hourly earnings, non-farm employment change, unemployment rate at 10:30 p.m. with the US ISM manufacturing PMI data being released on the midnight and moving into Saturday there. So a few items that can definitely drive the market from the US here this week. And of course, the monetary policy statement from the BOJ Thursday, around about 1:30 comes in. All right, so we're still been seeing, relatively speaking, US dollar strength, maybe getting into maybe a slight holding pattern at the moment. So here's the dollar, US dollar index at the moment. We went up to a further high yesterday, bit negative yesterday, and but we're still higher bottom to another top. With data coming out, the market may want to maybe go sideways this week. At some point, of course, we might need the market to put in a bit of an interim top. We have got the next Wednesday, the US election. So be interesting to see if we continually see US dollar strength this week. Okay. Overriding factor will probably be the job figures. But at the moment, till structure changes, this is in an uptrend. Even if we have a day down today, as long as we don't break this low, we could have a day down today. All right, we could have a day down today. All right. And then we could have a day up tomorrow and be further up. Until we see a clear break of high bottom and a lower top form, then I think it's very difficult to really get trading against the US dollar. Things may well change when we get to the election point or past the election point. So there are a few volatile hurdles to contend with. And if you've been in a long-term trades, trading the US dollar, maybe it's maybe time to take some good profits leading into these events. All right, S&P 500 did come down to the area that's expected to be support last week. And then price action hasn't been great over the last 2 or 3 days. And if we were to break below that red candle this week, that would most definitely potentially confirm a lower top form there on the stock market. So we may then see a deeper move down. But at the moment, support has come in at 62% of this range. So all things being equal, if we're not really having a change in trend, we're going to see maybe a retest up here. But that's the where I would like to get in. Well, down here, that's where I said last week. There's always the best time to get in. And then sometimes price can look a little bit ordinary. And I would probably need to go down to a 4-hour chart, which at the moment is kind of lower top, higher bottom. So I don't really like that. Preferred option would still be the area that I discussed last week. That is definitely support at the moment. Back to the daily. That is support. So if I was to see price move into that area and wanted to be trading with a long-term trend, that would be the area I would watch for. Other than that, I would probably be on the sideline at the moment as we're leading into job figures, election. All right, but that would be the area to watch down at 57.68 still to 57.55 if we saw a revisit and hold. All right, so euro dollar, we did have a positive day yesterday. So we had a negative day Friday, but we were positive Friday, finishing negative. We were positive yesterday. This fib is across the range of last week. And we've been holding at the 62% level for 3 trading days. So the candle last week, back within that range, the 62% area is holding at the moment. This is a weekly low over here that we false broke at the moment, down at 10777. So at the moment, getting a little bit of bounce down there. Personally, for me, it wouldn't be out of the stretch to see at least 1 week up after many weeks down. But, long-term trend is down. And it's going to be interesting to see how much of a rally maybe this pair can eke out before really maybe it's a very short-lived affair. Now the ranges are relatively small on the euro dollar, so if we do can have a day up today and maybe take out this high at 108.39, resistance where we'd expect sellers to be would be at this broken low here at 108.81. So if I wasn't already short, I actually got short up here. I was looking to allow the market to rally for short, then I would be looking up at that 108.81 level. Within the range of last week, so on my charts, this red line here is last week's high, last week's low. We've come up into Friday to the 62% area. We came up fraction short yesterday, so very clear area where the market is looking in today is at 108.28 area approximately. And we got a fraction short of that area yesterday. So just go to the 4-hour chart and just put a line across that. There's a bit of a potential left shoulder, head, right shoulder maybe there. So 108.293. That will be the level to watch today for failure if we were just rallying back up within the range of yesterday or coming up to test the high yesterday. So it overlaps the 62% level of last week's range. All right, so up there would be where I would watch yesterday's high to this area up to 108.29. So yesterday's high was at 108.27. So watch up here for a potential failure today. When we dropped down on Friday through New York, we came back up on Monday to fill the imbalance in here. Maybe there's a fraction of that left. And so we could just maybe come up to 108.29 today and then we'll see whether the market fails there. The long-term trend's down, so I'm still in seller rally mode even if the market's going up because the length of the rally may only remain within the range of last week, okay? All right, Euro Yen. All right, daily we gapped up on Monday. We're up to the highest point of this move almost here at the moment. Yesterday we did come back down to get support at the top here. So this old top, intraday yesterday we came down, filled the gap, and that has become support. And today we couldn't quite get down to that level. So that is showing an uptrend there at the moment, moving back up within the range. Could be coming up to test 167.51, an area of old support, which became resistance through here. So at the moment, you'd want to look for a dip. In a perfect world, 165.01, this daily resistance, now support, depending on what the market wants to offer. As we've put in a bit of a bottom here, I'd want to draw a fib up along that range, up to the 15-minute chart. And if it's it, in a perfect world, getting back down to 165.01 to 165.00 here, retesting this area today would be where I'd much prefer to look for a long. We put this high in here, so that's the preferred area, but as well, this may now be the low of the day, and any pullback needs to be monitored to the 62.79% zone within that range as well. All right, so we're in a clear trend. It's just how much could it pull back? Does it pull back to a technical area that you like to look for an intraday opportunity to trade up? Not forgetting, we do have the bodge coming out on Thursday, so anything you're doing at the moment, maybe you want to clear the deck before then. All right, so Euro Yen moving up. Look for a dip. Euro Pound, I don't really like the Euro Pound. We're stuck between, to the monthly chart, stuck between a monthly area of broken support being resistance now at 83.40 And then over here to the left, 83.04 monthly support. Now, monthly trends down, the weekly trend here is down too. Did finish positive last week, and the daily you can see it is horrible price action. It's really stuck between the two reference points that I'm discussing, 83.40 and 83.04, and we've touched 83.40 today. So I would look to see if price wants to retest 83.40 for the opportunity to trade down from that level. Personally, I wouldn't be trading the euro pound at the moment. It's very range bound, but that would be the level to watch. We've been a pip short there at the moment today. So anywhere very close to 83.40, you should look for the opportunity to trade down to 83.04. All right. All right, pound dollar. Now, yesterday, go to the day chart. Right, go to the weekly chart just to prove the point that we've broken, and we are below this weekly low here at 130.01. Now, we tested that area yesterday, and we couldn't move back above that low. So that is now becoming clear resistance and starting to tell you that the weekly downtrend that's now formed wants to maybe remain below 130. All right, so you can see came up, tested that level pretty much to the pip, and then we dropped back down. Trend is down. 4 hour is kind of in an uptrend here, slightly higher top, higher bottom, but you could maybe also say it's rather sideways. The major reference point, last month's low and that weekly low that got broken, so 130.01. That's where we rejected here last week. Couldn't get back to it. Couldn't get back to it on Friday. It was a bit short. Got to it on Monday just. That could be the high of the week. And in respect of last week's range, we've been able to rally 62% pretty much exactly. Similar to what I was discussing on the Eurodollar. So yesterday we came up to 62% retracement of the weekly candle from last week. Rejected. So I would actually look to see if this movement up at the moment is just going to be a failure to turn over. So to the 15-minute chart. So there we hit the 62 level of last week's candle. Last month's low, broken weekly support low as well. We moved down. Now we're rallying back up. I would watch the 79% level for a rally failure to move down today. Now, we might not get there. You may have to start to see weakening price action here. You may need to decide to get short and put your stop just above this intraday high here. But at the moment, we'll be watching to see if we can come up to here and fail to then move down. As well, with the news of the US coming out later in the day, volatility could drive this up to retest yesterday's high. So the up here would be a perfect area to look for a short two up at the 130 level. All right, so if all you did yesterday was wait to look for a test up here, you would have been okay. So you could wait to see if we could get another test up here today. Just have to wait and see. All right, pound yen. Hasn't filled the gap. And we're still very positive. We are trading to a bit of a resistance area. But as been an uptrend, this high here, look for this high to be support at 198.43 for the buyers. So if you can buy on a dip, and then we can see whether we can move above this area, 198.91, this high here at 199.47. So Like the euro yen, drag the fib up from that intraday low and look to the 62.79% area, and that overlaps with the 198.43 high. So that would be the primary area, but pound yen can be volatile, so it may just not stick straight on 198.43, but 198.49 down to 198.29, that zone there, looked for a dip into that area. Can we see an intraday pull back to that area today for a further move up? And intraday would kind of set up a little bit of there's like a little bit of a left shoulder here. Would we see that kind of formation? Okay, we can come down for a dip. All right, cover the pound. What's that euro dollar doing? Quite getting up to the perfect zone. Like if the pound dollar was to start to fail where it is now, I can just eyeball this and know that we're at 79% retracement on that range to the left here. So we may not get up here. I mean, you could be selling at 79% level, just putting your stop a little bit above this area. Maybe Monday's high is the high of the week. It's all about looking for entries where you can limit the risk. All right, Aussie yen. So, all right, so we got the inflation data coming out from the RBA, or not from the RBA, but from Australian Bureau of Statistics, probably, or whichever entity is releasing the data. It is coming out tomorrow at 10:30 in the morning. Okay, so it's going to be highly volatile on Aussie crosses. What we're seeing at the moment is day trend, a little bit mixed to down at the moment. Today we've actually broke, we actually put in a higher bottom, higher top, higher bottom yesterday as we moved up. But today we moved down and actually trade below that little area there. So it is a little, I'd say sideways at the moment. It doesn't know where to go, in truth. I think the key here would be it is rather rangy. I would anticipate until maybe there's a definite trend of strength this is resistance here at 101.41. That's where we failed yesterday. And this is support from this high over here at 99.85. So I would look to trade the outskirts. All right. Look for failures at resistance and support. Other than that, at the moment, price is kind of in the middle of that area, and it isn't easy going. Structure in the fire chart, we are in a downtrend breaking down today. So any rally back up, I will look to the 79% area. So 79% area is at 101.24 up to 101.41. So alter things slightly. Daily resistance 101.41. So from 101.24, 79% retracement up to 101.41. If you're looking for a short to fade, are we going to come back up? And we have been rather range bound for most of the month. Let's look at this 4-hour chart. Start of October is around here, and it hasn't gone too far through the whole of October. So what I did notice looking at my MACD charts is there's a bit of negative divergence here as we're sitting in between this 50-62% area. So whether we're topping out there, I don't know, but If we start to see a breakdown of price action to the downside, leading with this divergence here, then we may be looking to sell a rally at some point. Stephen, yeah, we'll get to the dollar yen as I move through the charts. All right, so Aussie dollar, let's put in a new low. It has come down today to test the next level of day support at 65.58 today. Now we haven't had a day up in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days. All right, so very weak, the Aussie, but like you can see here, we're trading down. We have about 2 days up through here. At some point, we're going to need a little bit of a rally back up. Trend is down. The weekly trend has turned down, moving below that low. So we could see a rally back up. It's going to be potentially volatile tomorrow. Will it offer you a rally? So the rally point would be at 66.22, which isn't that far away. We're only at 65.78, so that's only 42 pips away. It looks a long way away on this day chart, but relatively speaking, the ranges haven't been that large. So we can definitely get back up to 66.22 tomorrow. Get back up to 60.22 today. Now, strokes in the 4-hour chart, we're just making lower tops and lower bottoms. And we want to be monitoring the next range for a rally to the 15. So if we stay within the 4-hour trend, and we don't want to maybe get up a lot higher to 66.22, then watch. I like this 79% level at 65.98 because it's very close to the figure and last week's low. So what has happened this week is we've maybe started to commit below the 66 level. So any moving back up to 66, I would suspect this week could be resistance. All right, so we're only 22 pips away from this area. We can definitely see that today on some volatility from the US news. Overall trend is down. So again, we're looking to sell a rally if we can see the opportunity. All right, New Zealand yen. It's really getting back into the resistance area. I've been using that high, but maybe now the high to use would be this one just there. So that one is at 91,958. All right, so my resistance zone is 91,958. And support down here at 90.09. All right. Been range bound for more than a month. From range bound environments, longer the range bound environment, the bigger break you're going to get at some point. Now, which way is this going to break? I mean, within the range that I'm showing you, we do see an uptrend, but we're holding to that range. We do have higher top to that top. Can we break out? But that isn't where you want to buy trading straight into resistance. So be nice to see a clear break, and then okay, if we get a clear break, we know we should be going long, and then we can look for a setup. At the moment, I would be looking to the range that I'm showing you there and simply looking for a failure at 91, 95. So around about the 92 level. Right, we're only 26 pips away from 92. 20 pips away from 91.95. So coming up to that area. All right, just watch up there, 91.95 to 92. What happens up there if we can get up there? Highly suspect we would then trade back down. For our New Zealand dollar, much like the Aussie, as I've been saying, we have this long-term range, and I am short from the top, and I'm looking to get out down here. Now, can we get down there? It'd be great if we had positive US dollar news all week, because I'm sure we can definitely get down there this week. Much like the Aussie, we are down 2, 4, 5, 6 days down at the moment. Maybe starting to want to hold below this area here. Not quite committing below the 59.74 level there, but maybe we're starting to want to be below that area there. And it is lower top, higher bottom. So at the moment, it's a little bit mixed. But primarily, I would watch 59.84 up to 60.100. So it looks a long way. It's only 16 pips of an area. Yesterday we couldn't get up to 60.100. So today we may only be able to get up to 59.84. We failed there once already today. Then came down and couldn't quite get there. So 59.84 would be the level to watch at the moment. If we break above there, up at the 60 level for opportunities to still potentially trade down. That range of Friday's move down into Monday. That makes a lot more sense now. Watching up there at the 60 level with that 7 retracement would be the ideal area to look for a short. And I'm quite happy not to get in. I can see an imbalance over there to the left. I'm quite happy to pick the most perfect level. And if we can't get there today, we don't. Like yesterday with the pound up at the 130 level, that was the perfect level, and price was friendly and it moved straight up to the level and offered you the opportunity maybe short at that level. Sometimes when I'm looking at a level, price will move to the level, sometimes it won't, but that would be the most ideal level because we have an imbalance, a couple of imbalances here that on the 15 to fill, and that's straight in that zone there. All right, dollar Canadian. Now it is just below yesterday's low, but from a day chart perspective and a weekly chart perspective, trends are up. Weekly closed above, well, this high area here. It's trading into that. I should put a line in, so I've got that as a reference, 138.98. That's the next level we need to negotiate. So we're just having a dip today, 38.98. Now, of course, we could top out in this area up at the top. So if you're just of a bearish nature with the dollar Canadian, well, up there is quite clearly where you want to get short. At the moment, monthly trends up, the weekly trends up, and the day trends up. Day trend won't change unless we break that low at 38.13 here. So this may just have a day down, 2 days down, and then pick its trend straight back up to continue up. Really, we don't get a break of trend until we can break below 38.13, the higher bottom. So, but it is rejecting at the moment at 38.98 today and yesterday. So at least having a little bit of a pullback. That strong move up from that low there. I would monitor that range, I think, at the moment and see where price sits in today if it can dip, because high time frame trends are up. Yes, this is negative at the moment. There's not enough good news to break the 38.98, the 3900 level with conviction, but we have tried 3 times here at the moment. Sellers should be looking up here for revisits and failures, if that's your mode of operation. I think buyers at the moment should be looking down at the range I've just drawn in, 138.64 down to 138.52, that fib range there, fib zone there. And if it came down to support, great, 138.45, but maybe we wouldn't get down there. We may see today, the low on my chart for yesterday is that low there, that price point just there. So intraday at the moment, if we were to start to move, close back above this area on a 50-minute chart, maybe that's as far down as we can go today. All right, so if you had a very good close back above that area, that may be the low of the day to have another go at running through 139 today. We are in a very strong trend versus the US dollar strength at the moment. So I think it's hard to just go short at the moment until we see a clear, maybe day chart changing trend, which we're not seeing on any pair at the moment. Dollar franc, that's the range I would be monitoring at the moment on my day chart. 85.54 up to 86.99, 62% level overlaps with daily support at 86.09, 86.07 area here. And that would be a good area to watch for a dip to. Other than that, you're just trading up here, you're just trading very high up in the move. So I would look for that area for a dip. All right, dollar yen, we got the bodge coming out. At the moment, gapped up on the election news Monday. I couldn't fill the gap, I don't think, quite. And we closed above resistance at 153.17. So trend is up. It would be nice just to get a nice move away from 153.17, this high, and then look for a pullback to that level. At the moment, price action on the 4-hour chart is looking not that great. So it would be good if we could just move up and then pull back. $15 doesn't really entice me. Like I was just showing, I'd be a lot happier if I could draw a fib from, say, this low up. So I had a 62% level or a 79% level overlapping this support, last week's high. So if we moved up higher, could we then pull back to last week's high to be support at 153.17? So I need to see price show some strength, pull back to continue up. Yes, trends are up, so I'm not really interested in getting short, but I have to see something that I like intraday to get myself excited. We have, just from a longer term perspective, moved above the 22 and the 23 highs, closed above there last week. So we are committing to strength at the moment on the dollar yen. Notably, where we could fail at is this weekly broken support at 154.54 long term. So with the budget information coming out this week, job figures coming out this week, it's just worth noting with that long, hard sell-off down there. We're just trying to move above the 62 area at the moment. We do have a strong resistance potential area here. Is long term, if we start to see a failure in the area that we're at, we could be, we could just be rallying at the moment, and over the next month, if we start to see holding, then if we start to see a very strong weekly reversal first of all, then we might see that kind of long-term price action pattern form. But we would need to see a change. So we would need to start to see a change on the lower time frames. Like this day trend is just up at the moment. Less minor lows here. So we would need to see a break of this low first of all to start to think about, okay, maybe something is changing in this zone. All right. So at the moment, our trend has just picked up. There's a higher bottom forming in there, but I'm not seeing anything I like just this minute on the intraday look. I would, there's a gap here still from the Monday open that may need to be filled before we can move higher. All right, long term. So of course that's Monday's high. We may need to come back into this zone. So the low area of that area is 152.20. So even down to 152. All right. So 152.20 down to 152. Down here would definitely be the buy zone area. If we were going to correct back down to fill the gap up that's formed there at the moment. All right, so at the moment, I'm just a little bit on the fence about where I want to execute something. I think it's to the long side, but I need to see it pull back into an area that I like. Or, as I was saying before, it would need to develop to the upside, continue up, then pull back and look for a fib retracement. All right, so look, gold. Gold is continuing its top trends. So at a very minor correction on the day chart, almost at the high of the all-time high price. So I would look to the 4-hour range. There's the most immediate range. Look to the 62.79% zone for a pullback for a continuation. So at the moment, 62.79% zone is 27.37 down to 27.31. All right. Always look to buy a dip in the uptrend. I'm never trying to buy at the top of a move. I'm quite happy to miss on any instrument. I'll need to see a dip. Always buying a dip. Always buying a discount, selling rallies, okay? All right, let's just have a quick further look at the pound. Pound at the moment doesn't look like it wants to commit up to the top end of that range at the moment. It's starting to hold at 62% retracement of this decline. So you could, depending on what you're wanting to do on the pound, could try and be selling at the 62 level, which is 129.84, getting your stop above yesterday's high. See if we are further moving down this week. I think this week we have touched 130 this week already. We may well touch it again this week. So if I was trading the pound, whilst I can see, yes, we could be trying to trade a little bit lower down, I would probably wait personally to see if I could get it up higher. Euro trying to get up to the 108.29 area. So monitor up here for failure today. All right, so we're definitely seeing a little bit of US dollar pullback. That may just be profit taking as we're waiting for news events. All right, so make sure you know where the news events are coming out. We do have US dollar news tonight. That is coming in on my midnight, Queensland. So we have the USCB consumer confidence first and job openings this week. That's the first main event. All right, so if we get further positive news from the US, then we could be close to the high of the week and we could be trading down all week. If we start to get some weaker news coming out from the US, then we could be high up, further up, getting maybe close to the high of last week's trading range as we're heading towards the job figures on Friday. So we'll just have to be patient, see what comes out, see where the price is at a nice area that you would like to trade at. Okay, so be patient with the news. And of course, be very patient with the BOJ policy statement Thursday afternoon, of course, the job figures on Friday, okay? And of course, we do have the election next week, so I have some positions that I'm short at the moment. I'm probably going to clear all mine out before the election, and I might clear them out before the job figures on Friday, depending on what how the US dollar favors. So I'm short pairs to the US dollar. If we start upticking too strongly, I'm just going to clear the deck and probably wait for the election to pass before I do anything new, but we'll have to wait and see. Right, so I'll leave it at that for today. If you want to join me tomorrow, just head over to the webinar page. There's a link at the top. And tomorrow I'm going to be going through the figure, what it is, and how you can use it in Forex trading. So if you want to join me for that, it'll be at 8 p.m. Just register your interest, and I look forward to seeing you then. Thanks, everybody.